explicitly share we're going to do focusing?
I would say that much of the time I do name the process. I have a beautiful community of trainers and other people focusing on board, and often, yeah, I mean, people really become engaged. I don't push it though. If they don't care about the name of what we're doing, whatever, that's fine. But often I find that they do, and then you can introduce them into this wonderful world of focusers. And you know, we have a community. We get together, we focus together in partnerships and whatever. So I'm big on that, on developing community. Offering community to clients is an incredible gift. Not everybody has that to do it, but we can still do it through TIFI, the International Focusing Institute. And I think, yeah, I don't push it, but I find that lots of people are curious about what is it that we're doing, because you want to empower people to be able to do it on their own so they don't need me anymore.
Yeah. We'll probably encounter a lot in this program is slightly different in that I don't explicitly tell people I'm doing focusing. I just I will go ahead and ask into, you know, just basically my end of the dialogue will be aimed at kinds of things that will have the client go down inside, different ways of, without really any sort of formal specific focusing steps. And what happens is certain people will go, what is it that we're doing? And then I'll go, well, if you're interested, here's the information. And I do like you, it's Gillian with a hard G, not Jillian. Yeah. What I might, you know, just because it's pulled for me, some people seem like they'll be interested in the details. And I think a part of it is, you know, for me, a hangover of when I first started doing therapy decades ago. As a defense, when I was really anxious, I'd start spouting theory at people. And so I would use that. And so I really guard against giving them too much of the backstory of what I'm doing, because I think some of it came initially from my own anxiety about it. I don't feel that anymore, but it's still something I watch for. And so I think sometimes people specifically ask what I'm doing. Sometimes I think, oh, they're really going to like this, having this theory, and some people really appreciate being able to learn it more deeply and specifically. But other times it's just woven into the process. And I think you know, there's occasionally clients that have a reaction against anything that feels techniquey, or, you know, they don't want the backstory, or they don't want it, you know, it to be called something and have these steps. So it really depends so much on the person and you as a therapist. And I found with time, like at first it was just sort of clunky when I brought focusing in, it'd be just kind of a noticeable departure in language and sort of shift, and now it's become completely integrated, so it feels very different.
I don't think that's that that distant from what I'm saying either, in the sense that you decide, you feel in that what I call the relational felt sense, whether it feels right to name it or not, you know. And for some people it seems to feel right and they're very curious, and for others it doesn't, and I don't.
Yeah, I want to add a little something there that, and it's related a little bit to the thing we were talking at the beginning about exercises, techniques, approaches, philosophy, spirit. So an interesting thing about focusing is you could be a focusing-oriented therapist legitimately without ever teaching focusing to your clients. And if you happen to be in a focusing mode during therapy, and you're actually using, say, CBT or psychoanalysis or whatever else, you know, you could be legitimately called a focusing-oriented therapist because you are connected to the experience of being a therapist through your focusing. So it doesn't mean don't do focusing with clients. But another part is that actually, if you are connected to the experience of being in therapy as a focuser, what's going to happen is that clients are going to absorb focusing, even if you never ever teach them in a formal way. They're going to be, there's going to be the reinforcement of, yeah, it's nice to have that pause, or, you're just going to be that sense of appreciation for what they're doing when they're doing it. And so you're going to guide them, and they're going to become good at focusing, even if you don't teach them. Which of course does not mean don't teach them, but just it's good to know that there is a lot of possibility so that you can adapt. What you're learning here is we're not teaching you techniques to say, okay, you have to do them this way, that way, but you're going to be able to adapt to who you are, to your circumstances, the kind of job you have, the kind of practice you have. Within the practice, client A, client B, client C, and all of this is going to be integrated. Okay, that's what we want to offer you.
Yes, and in a sense, what is teaching focusing? The felt sense is a natural process in the body. If you direct a client down into their body, does that mean you're teaching focusing? Yes, I think it does. Do you have to do it in, oh, this is step one, clearing space? No. I mean, many people know what focusing is. It's a natural process we're born with. And of course, many people don't. So in experiential therapy, we help them slowly and gently, if it's scary, to touch down into the body. But as soon as we do that, are we teaching focusing? I think we are, in a way. I mean, whatever you want to call it, we are encouraging people to connect with their body, which is what has to happen in real change, right? People don't just change up in their head. It happens in the body.